Okay, that's our intro. So we kind of wait for the first three beats to happen. To be 1, 2, 3, C, C, D, and then D, 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 D. So we have some extra Ds there. It's kind of like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3. So we kind of let that D hold for a minute. And 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3. Then we strum all the way through that one, and we go to a D7. And all the way through that measure, like 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. So from the beginning, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. And then strum that one. And then D7. Okay, so I'll play it kind of up to speed again. So 1, 2, 3. So 3 times, and you stay on the chord, go to D7. G, D7, E minor. Okay, so what happens there, we have a bar of G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and same on the D7. Then the E minor is like a 1, 2 and 3 and 4. And then we go to B7, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So on the 4 and, we hit that E minor there at the end. So G, D7, E minor, 1, 2 and 3 and 4, B7, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and back to G. So in the tab, I have these written out where they kind of have in the Beatles book, where it kind of chops it up a little bit, but you could just be playing the 8th notes all the way through. But if you want to check out the tab on this, a little chord chart thing, you might get some ideas to just make it a little different as it goes. So this particular second E minor would be 1, 2, and 3, 4. That'd be the beat on that. And then the B7 is just 1, 2, 3, 4. Slows down from that faster 8th note thing. So from the verse again, we got G, D7, E minor, and then B7 is going to go back to E minor real quick, and then G, D7, E minor, and then B7 for the whole measure that time. So 2, 3, and. Okay, then we're on the chorus. We're gonna go 2 beats on C, 2 on D7, 2 on G, 2 on E minor, 2 on C again, D7, and then a full measure of G. So that was. And then we're back to a verse. Chorus again, C to the D7, G, E minor, C, D7, G. Okay, now we have the bridge. So the bridge is going to be a D minor chord. You could do a D minor 7 if you want, 0, 2, 1, 1. So it's like G7, C to A minor, D minor 7, G7, and then C to the intro. Okay, so that bridge again, you could do a thing like a finger picking thing too, like. Let's take a look at that. That'd be a D minor. Let's say do D minor 7. You could do either one though. So I'm just going straight up, kind of quick, dum, 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 and then a little slower on those last two coming back. Or actually, I just hold that bottom one a little bit. And then G7. C, A minor, D minor 7, G7, C, and then we only have time to get up to that high one there. We got to go back to the intro. D7, back to the verse. Let's do the verse real slow. 2, 3, 4. D7, E minor, B7, E minor, G. And it doesn't have to be any particular strumming as long as you're kind of carrying the whole measure of time. And then B7, and then our chorus. If you want to spice up the chorus, you could be like down, down, up for each. Down, down, up, down, down, up. Then we're back to the bridge after the chorus, after that verse. So we're going to have. Back to that again. So let's play that together, nice and slow. About that fast. 2, 3, 4. G7 coming up. Then C. Then A minor. D minor 7. G7. C. Bum, 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 bum. And then we're back to the intro. Try that again. So after the 3 count is when we come in with the C, C, D. So 1, 2, 3. And then D7. Back to the verse. Now our last chorus is going to go C, D7, G, E minor, then C, D7, B7 for a full bar. 3, 4, C, D7, and then we're going to go like triplets on the C. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, G, and it's all over. So last chorus again, we got C to D7, G to E minor, C to D7 again, and then B7, 2, 3, full bar there, and then C to D7, and then triplets on the C. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'll kind of play it through kind of quick for you. So 1, 2, 3. Verse. And then there's also some little hits on these chords, like then bridge, we'll finger pick it. Verse. So it's the and of the 3. So it's 1, 2, 3 and 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 1, 2, 3 and. And then that B7 is kind of straight all the time. bridge again. Last verse. Here goes our last chorus, C to D7, G, E minor, C, D7, B7, full bar, C, D7, and then triplets, C, 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 G. All right, I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles, by request. Hope you enjoyed that. Please leave your requests in the comments. Thanks for watching Damon's Baritone Uke Joint. This has a tab with it, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. All right, Day Tripper by the Beatles. This is set up one step down from the actual key so that it's easier to play on this instrument. We're gonna have a D string, and then 3 to 4 on the D, 2 on the G, 3 to 1 on the B string. I recommend using that ring finger to slide that. 2, 3, 1, and then 2 on the G, then little string open, then back to that second fret, 1 to 3 on the B string. Okay, so that's the main riff. So that's the thing we're going to do a whole bunch of times to get started. Then we're going to move down to this next one. So that's the G string, third string open. We're going to slide from 3 to 4 with the middle finger, and then 3 and 3 down here to the little 1, 3 on the second, 5 on the first, back to that 3, and then 1, 3. So from the G string. So those are our two main riffs. Let's look at that new one again. Okay, back to the first one. Okay, so main riffs of the tune, Day Tripper. Okay, then we're gonna have a new chord. It's gonna come in. It's gonna go. So this is like an E power chord here, 2 and 4 in the big strings. We want to mute the other ones. We just want to hear those two. It's like a rock and roll chord. So 1 A and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. They're gonna take that chord up to the 5th and 7th. Hit it 8 times, and then 4th and 6th. We're going to come down here, 4 and 7 on those two middle strings. We want to mute those ones we're not playing. 8 of those, and then 2nd and 5th, same shape. Hit that 8 times. And then we're back to our riff. Okay, so this new thing was 2 and 4, 3, 4, 1, 8. Up to the 5th, 4th, lower 4 and 7, 2 and 5, back to the big riff on D. Okay, so let's take a look at that first riff again. Big open, and then 3 to 4 with the ring finger, and 2 on the G string, 3 to 1 over here. Back to that 2, little string open, back to that 2, 1, 3. And then the one off the G, that's open G, and then 3 to 4 in the G, then 3, 3, 1 on the small string, 3 on the second, a little 5 there, back to that 3, 1, 3. Back to the D. Then we got this chord. And you can also throw in things like kind of do a hammer on. Then we can go over to the 5 and 7. Down 1. Down a string here, 4 and 7. Okay, then eventually we're going to get to the spot we're going to go into a bridge that starts with this chord. So the 2 and the 5 could also be 2 and open on the bottom, if you didn't want to try to do that stretch all the time, because we're going to come back to this chord a little bit. So we're eventually going to come from either this or this and get into this riff. So we've modulated that up to the 5 chord. Instead of doing it on the G, now we're up 1. This is our 5 chord of the song. So this is our bridge chord. 2 and 5, and then we're going to go 5 to 6, 5, 5 to 3, 5, little 7. Same thing we did down here, but in a new key. Okay, then after a couple times of that, we're going to get into this new riff. So we have this little chord. We have 2 and 2 as a chord. Like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1 E and a 2 E and a. Then we have a 2 and 3, 2 and 5. Then I'm going 2 and 2 on the bottom one. 2 and 3, 5. Okay, so it's like 6 different note kind of chord things. And that's how the bridge kind of plays out. It also has like a, if you want to try to get that little blues solo. So anyway, it heads on back to. So then we get back to the main riff. 2 times. Then we have the last verse. Going down to G. Back to D. We got that turnaround power chord. Up to the 5th fret, 4th fret, down to 4, 7, back to the main riff. Keeps doing that and fades out. Okay, Day Tripper by the Beatles. Let's take a look at that bridge one more time. So it ends up being like, or you could do it like that 2 and the 0 on the bottom, open. Or 2 and 5. You got. You do a little solo in there a little bit. We also have that. Okay, thanks for watching Damon's Baritone Uke Joint. There will be a tab with this. Hope you all enjoyed that. Let me know if you have any requests. Please like and subscribe. Talk to you soon. Across the Universe by the Beatles, John Lennon. The most difficult thing in this tune is going to be this intro. so we have the 2 on the G string and the 2 on the E string at the same time. And then we're going to that D bass. So we got 3rd string and 1st strings at the same time. And you might do it with like 2 different fingers and keep that thumb open for that bass note. And then we're going to slide all the way. This is the 10th fret and the 11th fret. So 10 on the little string, 11 on the 3rd string. That's kind of the most difficult maneuver in the tune, really. So you go from these 2s to the bass note. And then we're going to hit that bass note again after we slide into the 11 and 10. Then we're going to go. And that's 9s on those same 3rd and 1st strings to 7s. And then 6 and 5. 6 on the 3rd string, 5 on the 1st. Then we have one single note right there. That's the 7th fret of the 2nd string. So once again, we got. And then we get into this new riff where we're going to have 4, 2, and 2. We're going to go. So that's going in 2 to 4 on the G string while we hold this 4 on the top string, the big string. And you can basically hit like those top 3 strings. We do that 4 times, and then we switch it to just the 2s, like an A chord, still coming into that 4 in the G string. Okay, so let's look at that again. Okay, then we get into the first verse. We're going to have D, 2 strums to B minor, 4, 4, 3, 2, and then we're going to do the F sharp minor, 4 with the 2s down here. 4 beats on that one. So we got. Now we're going E minor 7, 2 open, 3 open. And you could have kind of a strum, kind of a ding, 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 dee, dee, ding, 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 as a basic kind of thing. So these 2 strummers might be like 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and then we go to the E minor 7, 1 and 2 and a 3 and now we're going A7, which is just 2 open, 2 open, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So that one has an extra one. That's kind of interesting. Has an extra beat right there just to give him like a little more space before he starts singing again. And later he takes that away if it's going into a chorus because he doesn't need that like extra beat to kind of wait. So this is kind of interesting how they did that. We come back. So the same stuff on that, 2 of the D, 2 of the B minor, 4 of the F sharp minor. But then we're going to come to the E minor 7, only do 2 of them. G minor. So we do the other 2 of that measure, so we do 2 of these, and then G minor, which you could do like this, 5 with 3s, but you can just do the open with 3s too. So 2 of these, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2. So there's 2 extra ones of that. So it's kind of its own measure of an extra 2. So that's second half of the verse. D, B minor, 4 beats on the F sharp minor, E minor 7 for 2, G minor 2, and then 1, 2 more. And then we're in the chorus. So 2 bars of D there. We're going to A7. A7 again. That's that nothing's going to change my world part. So that ends up being 3 bars of A7 in a row. You could do those as A's or A7s, whichever you like. So from that chorus, the Jigaroo part, another D, 2 and 3, and then A7, 1, 2, 3, 4. Second bar, A7, third bar, 2 and 3, going to G, D, back to A. Second bar of A here, and then G, D. Okay, then the next verse starts. D, B minor, F sharp minor for 4, E minor 7 for 4, A7 for 4. So that time they didn't do the 5. E minor 7 for 4, and then we're back to A7, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So they do the 5 again there, and then we're going back to the chorus. D 2 bars, and then we have A7, and then 2 more bars of that, and then G, D, and then we'll have A again. Could be A or A7, whichever you want. 2 bars of that, and then G, D. Now we're into the part 2 of that verse, the one that has the less time on the E minor 7 into the G minor thing. So we have now we'll have E minor 7 for 2 to the G minor, and 2 more extras. Now we have another piece of a verse, D minor, B minor, F sharp minor for 4, E minor 7 for 4, and then A7 for 4, 3 and 4. Chorus, we got D for 2 bars, and then we got the A7, that's the ohm part, then we have 2 more of these, then G, D, now we have 2 more A's, G, D, and then we stay on D. That's when he does that jigaroo thing and it just stays on that same chord. And then eventually it fades out from that. Okay, so let's check out that intro again. We have the 2s, 3rd string and 1st string to the bass note, and then we slide. I look for this dot up here on mine. Dots are in different places sometimes, but I try to get up past that dot to the dot with my 1st finger and past it with the middle finger, because it's 11 and 10 we're shooting for. So bass note again, and then the 9s, 7s, 6 and 5 to that little 7 there. So let's try that real slow. 3 and 4 and try that again. 3 and 4 and then we had the 4-2-2 coming into the 4 here 4 times, and then we switch to 2s. We come to the same 4 in the G string. Okay, so I'll kind of play that up to speed. So first verse, okay, so let's take that first piece of that first verse and try to play it real slow together. So 3 and 4 and D, B minor, F sharp minor for 4, E minor 7 for 4, A7 for 5, 3 and 4 and 5. Okay, one more time on that. 3, 4, D, B minor, F sharp minor, B minor 7, A7 for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have the part 2 of that verse. D, B minor, F sharp minor, same. Now we only have 2 E minor 7s, the G minor, and then an extra 2. Okay, now we're getting into the Jai Guru chorus. So let's think about 2 measures of D here. 3 and 4 and... Now we're going A7. And again. Nothing's gonna change my world. And again. And then G. D. Now we're going back to A. G. Okay, and then we'll just do another verse. I'll do this one up to speed. And this one is just going to be 4 of the A7. Now this one does have 5, and this is the exception where the 5 goes into a chorus. So we'll have that chorus again. 3, 4. D again. And then we have A7. Stay on that. Nothing's gonna change. Then we got G. Back to A. G to D. Then we have that part 2 of that verse. D, B minor, F sharp minor. But here's where we change. We go just 2 of these E minor 7s to G minor. And then we add 2 to that. And then we have this last verse piece. More normal 4s on these. A7, it's going to have the 4. And then we're into that last chorus. A7. 2 more bars of that. G to D. A couple more A's. G to D. Stay on D. That's that Jai Guru kind of 1 chord kind of chant thing. Okay, and that's about it. Across the Universe by the Beatles, John Lennon. Let's check out that intro one more time. Okay, thanks for watching Damon's Baritone Uke Joint. Let me know if you have any requests, and we'll see you soon.